Homer Ibarra, you intrepid E3 booth tourer, you. God bless you. Folks, Chris Waters here, back live on stage at GameSpot, Stage 1 for E3 2013. And joining me on stage is Ash, the game director for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Ash, welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man, you got that shirt. By the way, the logo with the skull, I'm digging it. You guys got style. So, big showing yesterday at Ubisoft press conference. You guys, Black Flag is in full regalia out front of the press conference, or out in front of the LACC. I don't know if you folks have seen photos. It's like like a city block. It's half a city block or something. It's this giant image. But Edward Kenway, one of the stars of E3 2013 this year. And what are you guys coming to show off this? You know, there's a lot to see in Assassin's Creed 4. What are you showing off at the show this year?
So we're showing off a lot of, we have a lot of trailers that we showed in the conferences yesterday, but what we're really taking away from E3 this year is we wanted to show off the Caribbean open world. You know, we created this, the freshest, most unique world we've ever built. We really pushed ourselves out of our comfort zone of building cities to create the Caribbean open world, which has, you know, over 50 locations, 3 of them being major cities, tons of side activities and content, a lot for the player to do in this world. You know, we want players to get lost in our Caribbean world.
Yes, I love it. I used to play a game called Sid Meier's Pirates back in the day, so much to the point that I think I might actually not get lost. My Caribbean geography is like very well learned from that time. But when you say 50 locations, you mentioned major cities, but are you talking, you know, a tiny like sand lump island where you can find a buried treasure, like hidden outposts, ruins, you know, the whole gamut?
Yeah, so the 50 locations we talk about, these are major locations. These are mine ruins, underwater locations, caves, smuggler dens, naval
Booze
forts,
parties, you know,
pirate camps. No, these locations exist. Jungles. Those are the 50 locations. We also have these things called sandbanks and playas that are the smaller beaches that you'll find, and those we have over 75. So the world is really filled with tons of content.
There's lots to find if you just set sail and head out.
Exactly. We have this aim that, you know, we do have a huge Caribbean world, but that there's going to be content pushed to the player. You know, at least every minute you're going to see something. Something's going to happen. Something's going to tease you, motivate you. You know, we have the Jackdaw, which is the second main character of the game. It's your ship, your Millennium Falcon. You know, you need to upgrade it and customize it and take care of it. And everything you do in this world, every collectible you find, every activity, it leads to something gameplay-wise, like upgrading the Jackdaw, upgrading Edward. So we have a lot of motivation to explore the world.
To explore and just sort of generally, it'll enrich, you know, beyond the taking in the beautiful sights, it'll actually enrich your gameplay experience.
Exactly. Every single collectible has a purpose in this game. This was really important for us because the goal was to get people lost into the Caribbean world. And to do this, we needed really strong motivations, things that give value to the player.
Okay, now let's take a look, talk about what we're seeing and what we saw at the press conference yesterday. We're sneaking through some foliage here. The leaves are moving as you're passing, a touch that I really appreciate.
Yeah.
But we're stalking. Who are we stalking? Basically, that dude is being tortured out front, but he's sort of the decoy.
Yeah.
You know that you're gonna flush your quarry out, and now Kenway's on the trail stalking this dude.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just it's a moment in the main path of the story where it's actually based off of a historic event where Blackbeard was actually hunted by the British. And in this case, these are spies that have found the location of the camp where Blackbeard and Edward have camped. And so now we're trying to figure out what they're up to, what is their hidden agenda. Edward just kind of got a hint of these guys, and we're following them.
And so you got this, you know, little assists to help you see who you're targeting currently. Now, is this an active targeting mode, and you can, you know, if you have a ranged attack, you could just take that guy out if you felt like it?
Well, we do a lot of stuff to make the gameplay much clearer for the players, because we don't want them to get lost in what do I do, but have fun in how do I do it.
Yeah.
So yes, we have targeting effects and we have highlights like that, but from a shooting perspective, you'll see it. Well, you'll see the 4 guns right here. Yeah.
Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, there we go. So the guns.
Belt must weigh a ton.
That's it. You have to actually upgrade to carry all those 4 guns.
I bet. Yeah, you need some sturdy hardware.
Exactly. And here, you know, this was a bit of an excuse to show off the next gen, how much deeper and how much more immersive we can make the environment. This is the standard AC environment. It's a mini open world, but
in the midst of exploding entirely.
In the midst of exploding. But what we wanted to show off here is the seamlessness. Being able to go from land to sea. You know, it's the Caribbean
and then you're
world,
on the jackdaw.
And then you're on the jackdaw.
And
no break, no immersion, no nothing. So it was important that we created a Caribbean world, not a land game and a sea game, that it was one cohesive world, because it really helps in the exploration and the immersion of the world itself.
And so you've got your crew running the jackdaw. Now you're out for some naval combat. Of course, players got their first taste of this during Assassin's Creed 3, and it's back for AC4. It's certainly going to play a much larger role, I'd imagine, well, with the setting.
Yeah, for sure. We see AC3 as being, it started something really phenomenal. It's a tease on naval combat. We knew because it was
worked.
more...
Yes, it worked in AC3 RLO. Let's blow it out.
Exactly. It was really, you know, we knew very early on in development with AC3 that we had something in our hands. And we felt with the ability to build natural environments, land, you know, human-built construction, and the naval, we're able to now build, you know, a bigger-than-life pirate game. We have the technology to do it, and so we went for it. And here, the naval combat, we've really pushed it. A lot more weapons, a lot more enemies. The boarding is a big part of the game. Again, it's seamless as well. So Edward can go in. The player can really do what they want when they board a ship. You can go in guns blazing. You can sneak in by jumping into the water and swimming around to the other side. It's really open to the player.
Now, I got to say, this whole naval combat into melee combat on the ship's deck looks ripe for a little multiplayer encounter. Is that anything that you guys have in the works there?
Well, we do have multiplayer, but it's our classic multiplayer that we brought back.
Sure.
Naval multiplayer, unfortunately, we don't have it. It's something we tried at the beginning, but we didn't feel we can get it to a good enough level for this iteration.
All right.
But for sure, we have multiplayer.
I'm glad to hear you at least tried it. Because otherwise, you know, it's asking here. I just want to I want to sink your ship, man.
Of course.
But instead, we'll have to settle for the incredibly tense and nerve-wracking competitive multiplayer where, you know, assassin versus assassin. That is a really engaging mode.
Exactly. We have at our booth, we have demos where people can try this new mode in the multiplayer called Games Lab. It allows you to customize your game sessions and to create some of your own content, if you will. So it's one of the iterations we've done on our multiplayer.
Cool. Now, Ash, I've been taking questions all day here. I'm in the Twitch chat, scrolling through. A lot of the times, those questions scroll a little too fast for me to keep up with. GameSpot comments as well. Very interested. But I'm going to switch over to Twitter for a question from David Scott, wondering, what are the character customization, clothes, weapons, etc. going to be like this time around? Obviously, that's been a big part of many Assassin's Creed games before Black Flag. Can we get Kenway in some different digs and some customized looks? Yeah,
for sure. So, you know, we took a note from our own game. We looked at Far Cry 3. We loved the way that they built the customization of the character, the open world systemic. So we took a page from their book, and you know, we're using the hunting and the harpooning system to be able to upgrade Edward. And through this system, you can customize his look. You can, as I said before, upgrade the number of guns he carries, upgrade the weapons you can carry. There's definitely tons of customization to do with Edward.
Now, you say Far Cry 3, and the customization there was largely, in terms of your character growth, was largely skill-based. And so you're picking up new abilities to stab it heavy, you know, to take down this, to stay underwater longer. Is part of Kenway's customization expanding his skill set?
To a certain extent. For the weapons, yes, you gain more weapons. You can upgrade the weapons themselves.
Sure.
For Edward himself, you can upgrade his health and his armor. For skills, I mean, he's an assassin, and we wanted to keep him. Well, he's a pirate that becomes an assassin, but we wanted to keep his assassin skills with him. We played around with maybe removing some of them, but it just didn't feel right. So the upgrading is really more about weapons themselves.
All right. Now, another hot topic here at E3 is integration with, you know, if you're on a Microsoft system with Smart Glass, a tablet, or, you know, Wii U tablet usage, or with the new DualShock controller for the PlayStation 4, the touchpad. And so from the Twitch chat, we've got a question from user scrolled out of the way so I can't actually see what your username was about any kind of that functionality that folks might see in Black Flag.
Yeah, for sure. So we have a companion app that's going to launch free with Black Flag. Now this app, it's a comfort and an extension of the game.
A comfort?
A comfort, yes, it's a comfort. So, for example, you can have the world map running right there. It's live update with the game.
Okay, a step up from just straight up having a book open to your map of the Caribbean.
Exactly. Yeah. You can actually use it to zoom in. You can flag stuff in the world. You can flag events and so on. If you have someone in the room with you, they can kind of act as your quartermaster, highlighting stuff for you in the world. But beyond this, we have something called Kenway's Fleet.
Okay.
When you plunder a ship in the game, and you can plunder virtually every ship in the world,
yep.
You have the ability to send it to your fleet. Now, your fleet is something that you can send out across the world to pirate and plunder for you and bring you back resources. So in the companion app, you can actually go in deeper into this mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that a thing where, you're that's similar to the kind of assassins from previous games, right? You have these agents that you can set to do tasks for you to accomplish goals and bring back resources.
Yeah, fans of the series will see there's a familiarity there. It is a very different game, especially with a companion, because you can actually jump into those missions and interact with the ships, help them fight, help them progress further into their missions.
Now we have questions coming in from chat about the Animus, about Pieces of Eden from Gingy703. Folks wanting to know about that deeper Assassin's Creed storyline, that through line across all the different eras that this franchise has tackled. Can you give us any tidbits about that here?
Yeah, of course. Desmond's story ended in AC3.
Yep.
But the present day Abstergo, Assassins versus Templars conflict is still ongoing. There's a bigger story to tell.
Uh-huh.
And so we jump into the game by bringing the player closer into the narrative. So in the present day, the hero is you, the player. And you've been hired by Abstergo Entertainment, which is a subdivision for the Templars. Mm-hmm. They do research using the Animus on historical figures for entertainment purposes, or so you're told. And so you've been asked to research the life of Edward Kenway because he has a major impact in the Templar Assassins feud. And he finds something that the Templars and the Assassins need.
Uh-huh.
So there is a lot more to tell about the progression of Juno, of Templars in the future, and so on.
And I'm sure some of that meant something to you, Assassin's Creed fans. Just kidding. All right, so we've got people, wondering about their Desmond, wondering about Ezio and stuff like that. This is a Kenway story, and this is rooted there and also in your modern day Abstergo Entertainment story. Fans of this series, obviously, the deeply nested fiction and lore from the Assassin's Creed franchise is a big selling point and something that's very appealing. And so how has it been to craft a new entry but remain that firmly rooted to the tree?
So it's something that we've been very careful with because we want new players to also jump into the franchise without feeling overwhelmed by, do I need to know the history? Do I need to know? So yes, we give homage. We give information for those people who want to dig deeper into the mythos of Assassin's Creed. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of optional content that you can find that really fleshes out the universe. For the new players, the new fans who might have not have played the old ACs, you're picking up the game fresh. You're a new hero in the present day. You're a new hero in the past. So you start learning the game, as the characters are learning the game themselves.
We got a question off Twitter from Nate wondering about the currency system in Assassin's Creed. Certainly, one of the chief ways to acquire currency is by taking it from other people. But, a huge part of the West Indies culture at that time was trading, and a part of Assassin's Creed wealth garnering in the past has been working on your estate. Are there any alternate sources of income here that Edward's going to sort of dabble in?
Yeah, so we have many options for players. One of the philosophies we have in this game is that it's player agency. You play the game as you wish.
Yeah.
So for sure, you're a pirate. Plundering is very important. Plundering gets you a big amount of income. In the game, we also have a hideout. This is something that Edward ends up acquiring as the story progresses, and the hideout is something that you can upgrade. But it's less about the economy and more about having a place where you can store your goods, where you have a safe place in the West Indies. Mm-hmm. Beyond this, Kenway's Fleet is a place where we delve deeper into the economy, where you can trade. You can go to Africa to trade some of the sugar for more money, so yes, we do have The economy, it's been simplified for the purposes of being able to upgrade the ship easily, knowing exactly what you need. But for the people who want to delve deeper, there is more for them.
And just catching a glimpse of the humpback whale breaching in that demo. And remember, you mentioned harpooning, whaling also in the game?
Whales are one of the targets that you do harpoon. We have many.
Your harpoon into some other targets as well.
Yes, there are other targets. There's some really crazy sharks out there. No, we have a lot of targets. The harpooning, it's a really fun side activity. Again, it's there to help upgrade Edward. So that's how you use it. And yes, we have many different creatures that you need to throw a harpoon at.
And the only hobo wondering about mini games, like in previous Assassin's Creed, it sounds like harpooning side activities. You know, there's lots of stuff to do in this world. It certainly sounds like, and you guys are really building this fleshed out Caribbean where you live the pirate life to a certain extent. You know, you're also following along to a main story arc to some degree, but you have that freedom to sail off into the sunset, as we just saw.
Exactly. We keep saying that we want players to get lost in this world. There is a main path for sure. We are telling a very authentic and gritty pirate story, but we're also giving you a world that's full of exploration, full of content to find and do. And so we would love that players start a mission, or at least start heading towards a mission, and completely get lost in the world. You know, if you were heading to Nassau to meet Blackbeard, but then 30 minutes later you find you're near Mexico, you don't know how you got there. That's perfect.
Well, you were doing something.
You were doing some awesome stuff that got you there.
I think that's the mark of some of the best open world games, the ones that just absorb you and make you want to live that life and give you a world that you just want to be in and you want to do stuff.
Exactly. This is what we set out to do. We were trying to be very ambitious with this Caribbean world, and this is our goal, to get people lost in this world.
All right, and one final super serious question. Wondering about, given the presence of whales, is the interior of a whale's stomach going to be an environment that you explore, a la Pinocchio or Jonah?
So as I said, we are making an authentic pirate experience. For sure there are some Easter eggs in this game.
Maybe not that
I'll confirm,
Easter eggy.
Yes, the internals of a whale is not an environment you visit.
All right, Ash, you're a good sport, and thank you so much for talking Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag with us.
Sure, my pleasure to be here.
Let's give it the platform rundown and the release date real quick.
So we are releasing at the end of October this year on all confirmed platforms. So we have Xbox 360, PS3, Wii U, PC, and of course the next gen consoles whenever they're ready to be released.
Excellent, Ash. Thank you so much. Have a great show.
My pleasure.
All right, folks, it's off for a quick look at the PS Vita and what is on offer at the Sony booth for that handheld, and then we're back here with Thief.